Good morning, all my sweet friends, pals, and confidants. It's early morning. It's like 6:30 in the morning. Having my coffee. Had a Killer Dave's bagel. Well, I had half of a Killer Dave's bagel. I'm full now, which is good. I've got a really busy day today. Please pray for the Hull family if you know them. My friend, my longtime pastor, Virgil, passed into paradise yesterday. He can hear, he can run, he was very athletic when he was younger, so I'm sure he's already out there in the ball game. He's had two beautiful wives pass on before him, so I'm sure he is having a wonderful reunion. And with his brothers, both of his brothers passed before him, and he was close to his brothers. His parents, I remember his parents, Albert and Beulah, they were very special people. Old-time, old-fashioned farm people, but hard workers. They ran the first Christian bookstore in Daytona over on Beach Street, where I bought my first Bible that I ever bought for myself. Do you remember back in the 70s, they had those thick, padded, green Living Translation Bibles? That was the first Bible I ever bought for myself, and I bought it at their Christian bookstore over there on Beach Street. What was the name of it? Gospel Christian Bookstore? Anyway, Hull, one of the Hulls, get down here and tell me the name of your grandparents' bookstore's name. I need to get on early because I am going to Daytona to volunteer at my daughter's school, and before I go, I need to bake those kidlings some cookies. So as soon as I get done with this and start uploading it, while it's uploading it, I'll be baking cookies. And then I'm gonna go to Daytona, help Chalet for a few hours. I sent a message out to John if there's anything that they need help with today. I'm available after I'm done at Warner with Chalet. I don't know what it's gonna be like outside today. It's cold. I took my dog out earlier. It's pretty cold out there. I think it was supposed to be just above freezing, so I didn't cover my plants. If I lose them, I lose them. I worked really hard this year to have beautiful plants. My tomato plant, oh my goodness, it's just literally bubbling over with tomatoes. I had a whole bunch of them here. He must have ate them. My husband loves tomatoes. And pray for my husband. He's got a bad foot. He's got some plantar fasciitis, plus he has diabetes, so he's probably got some neuropathy down there. So pray for his foot. He's still working full time, driving back and forth an hour each way to Jacksonville. Sometimes it's more than an hour when he's coming home, depending on the traffic. So this morning, we're starting with the book of Ruth. Yesterday, I read you David Jeremiah's introduction to the book of Ruth, and it was a really good introduction. And I decided that instead of doing a Bible study next week, or starting whenever we finish Ruth, I'm hoping it's only going to take a week, but whenever we finish, I'm going to do some short did you know. My daughter forgot my cup. I'm going to do some did you knows. For example, did you know that the name Christian that we love, I love being called a Christian. I'm proud to be called a Christian, but initially it was a derogatory remark, like being called a cracker or a spick, or some of the names they call Black people. I think I've ever heard black people call themselves this name, but you know what name I'm talking about. It's an ugly word. But yeah, originally Christian was a derogatory remark. Oh, you Christian. I wrap myself up in that word. It means Christ-like. I am proud beyond belief to be a Christian. It's starting to become a derogatory word again. It's like people, oh, Christian. Yeah, that's me. I'm a Christian, and I'm proud of it. And I will be proud of it until my last breath, my last heartbeat, and beyond. I hope in heaven I'm called a Christian. Yeah. So I might do a little while of that until I get tired of it or run out of topics. And I was thinking of maybe doing little one-time videos on some of the saints. Like, I'd like to look up St. Augustine, and because I live at St. Augustine, in the city of St. Augustine, so I'd like to look up who he was, what did he do, why is he a saint, why did the Catholic Church make him a saint, why is he famous? And getting close to Valentine's Day, so I might do one on St. Valentine's. So let me know what you think about that. Do you like that idea? And then, we'll eventually go back to studying book by book, verse by verse. We'll get there, but, something different. So, okay, we're going to start with the book of Ruth. And I am reading on my new Bible that I bought myself. It's a New Living Translation. I've heard of it for years and just thought, another Living Translation. But I really, really, really love this book. When it gives you dates, it not only gives you the Jewish date, but it gives you the date according to our calendar, which is very cool, because I was reading in Ezra yesterday, and it gave me real dates. A while back I was reading about Noah, and instead of telling us the size of the ark in cubits, because let's face it, we all know what a cubit is, right? I don't even think builders these days know what a cubit is, but we know what feet and inches are. So in Europe they use the metric system. We don't use the metric system here in the United States. We use feet and inches. And the NLT gives you the dimensions in feet and inches. Isn't that cool? I just think that's so cool. I'll let you know other things that I run across that are different in this translation. But here we go. We're going to start with Ruth, and I'm reading out of the NLT, and we're going to start with chapter 1, verse 1. And I'm probably just going to read, the first chapter. Let's see how fast it goes. Elimelech moves his family to Moab. In the days when the judges ruled in Israel, this is before they had a king, because remember the first king was Saul. I forgot for a second. And the second king who took Saul's place was David. So David wasn't even dreamt of yet, because Ruth, the lady in this story, is his great-grandmother. So in the days when the judges ruled in Israel, a severe famine came upon the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah left his home and went to live in the country of Moab. And Moab is, they are descendants of Lot, if you didn't know. FYI. The man's name was Elimelech. Say that 3 times real fast. Elimelech, Elimelech, Elimelech. And his wife was Naomi. Their 2 sons were Mahlon and Kilion, or Kilion. I've heard it pronounced Kilion, but it almost looks like Kilion. Anyway, they were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in the land of Judah. And when they reached Moab, they settled there. Then Elimelech died. Naomi was left with her 2 sons. The 2 sons married Moabite women. Okay, so it looks like Elimelech might have died before the boys got married. At least that's the way it appears. I might do some study on that to find that out. The 2 sons married Moabite women. That's women from that area. One married a woman named Orpah, and the other married a woman named Ruth. But about 10 years later, okay, so they were married 10 years and didn't have children. In a way, that's a good thing, because that would have left these women raising little kids by themselves. The bad thing is that was the end of that line. There was nobody left to carry on that family. Okay. This left Naomi alone without her 2 sons or her husband. Then Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had blessed his people in Judah by giving them good crops again. So Naomi and her daughters-in-law got ready to leave Moab to return to her homeland. With her 2 daughters-in-law, she set out from the place where she had been living, and they took the road that would lead them back to Judah. But on the way, Naomi said to her 2 daughter-in-laws, "Go back to your mother's homes, and may the Lord reward you with your kindness to your husbands and to me. May the Lord bless you with the security of another marriage." Then she kissed them goodbye, and they all broke down and wept. Naomi must have been a very, very special woman for her daughter-in-laws to love her so much. "No," they said, "we want to go with you to your people." But Naomi replied, "Why should you go on with me? Can I still give birth to other sons who could grow up to be your husbands? No, my daughters, return to your parents' homes. For I am too old to marry again. And even if it were possible, if I were to get married tonight and bear sons, then what? Would you wait for them to grow up and refuse to marry someone else? No, of course not, my daughters. Things are far more better for me than for you, because the Lord himself has raised his fist against me." And again they wept together, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye. But Ruth clung tightly to Naomi. Look, Naomi said to her, "Your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. You should do the same." But Ruth replied, "Don't ask me to leave you and turn back. Wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you will live, I will live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Wherever you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord punish me severely if I allow anything but death to separate us." When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she said nothing more. So the 2 of them continued on their journey. When they came to Bethlehem, the entire town was excited by their arrival. "Is it really Naomi?" the women asked. "Don't call me Naomi," she responded. "Instead, call me Mara, for the Almighty has made life very bitter for me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me home empty. Why call me Naomi when the Lord has caused me to suffer, and the Almighty has sent such tragedy upon me?" So Naomi returned from the Moab, accompanied by her daughter-in-law Ruth, the young Moabite woman. They arrived in Bethlehem in late spring at the beginning of the barley harvest. So that's where I'm going to leave off for today. We will pick up tomorrow. Yes, I think I will be able to do this tomorrow. We'll pick up on chapter 2 tomorrow. So think about what we read. We read about Ruth and Naomi, who changed her own name to Mara, meaning bitterness. We know this from Genesis. When Moses was in the wilderness, the water was bitter, so they called it Mara, the spring of Mara. So that's where we are for today. I love y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep the Lord first in your life. Continue to read, continue to study. Join me every morning. Probably not every morning, but several mornings a week. I love y'all. Bye.